money is like women. They stay where they feel protected, where they feel secure. And anybody who tells you that don't consult, don't tell people about what I'm telling you, you know that person, run away from that person. That's a con man. And the employees want more salaries, your suppliers want prompt payments, customers want a discount. So it is not easy. Government want money. So you are selling without buying, selling without buying.
Hello and welcome to the No One Tells You This podcast, a series where we are talking about business, anything business, the growth, the behind the scenes, and the movement, and all of that. And today we have, for our very first episode, we have a very special guest on here. He has been, I'd say, a bit of the pioneer in the businesses around the town that we live in, and a man very special to me, my dad, the guy that has taught me the ropes when it comes to business. And today we're going to hear his story. Karibu sana. I'll call you Mr. GK for this podcast.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Geoffrey Kinoti Kathorima, popularly known as Kinoti GK. I'm a businessman here in Nkubu town. Nkubu is in South Imenti. South Imenti is in Meru County. Actually, we started in business in 1995, September 15th. That's when we opened our door in a small rented room here in Nkubu. And we can thank God that now we are far ahead. We can count a few achievements that God has given to us, and we thank God for the success.
Thank you very much. Now you have been on many platforms before. Umeongea kuhusu biashara, the starting, how you opened the doors. I believe last year you celebrated 30 years. But beside all that, being a businessman, we want to know, who is Geoffrey? Who are you as a person? Business kando.
Geoffrey Kinoti is our father. I have 4 children, and they are all out of school. It's just one who is in university from Mombasa, Technical University of Mombasa. And that's me. I'm a Christian. I'm also doing a few other things for the community. I'm the new chairman of Kanyakine Level 4 Hospital. I'm also the chairman, Miro Spice. I've been the chairman for more than 10 years. I also belong to many school boards. I also started a circle that's called MCU Circle. That's back in 1993. I've been a leader in the church to the level of national connection treasurer, honorary treasurer. That's the highest post a lady can go to. So I've done many few things with our community. Thank you. I also like traveling, travel a lot, within and without. And I thank God for those few things that I have been able to do.
So aside from doing business, kama ungekuwa na biashara, what else do you think you would have ventured into?
I want to be a bishop and be a reverend. And also I know I can also do very well in employment. If I'm employed, I can do very well. I can tell you for free, if I'm employed, I can do very well. And person who can be perseverance enough to get to higher levels, because if you are not able to be somebody who is resilient, you might not go far in employment. But employment can take you very far.
What is it about being a bishop that would have made you happy, or would have satisfied you?
And one thing, being a bishop and being a reverend, you just preach and you get your daily bread. Yeah? Where others are working the farms, where others are doing many other even very tough jobs, you just preach.
All right. Very interesting. Now you said something about being employed. We, especially in my generation, we have so many people that don't believe in employment. They think it's easy to kuanza tu biashara and go, ama they can survive without being employed, ama if they are employed, they want to be employed by their own roles. What would you say about that?
One, it is very important to note that you cannot succeed much without employing people. If you want to succeed, you must employ people. If you want to become a poultry keeper, you need to have many people so that you can have many chickens. If you want to be a tea farmer, you have many people to help you to achieve. Now, if you cannot succeed without employing, it means that being employed also is very important, because you cannot succeed without employing. Then getting employed is also very important, and you cannot have a country whereby people not like getting employed, because even if you start a hospital facility, you need to employ nurses, doctors, and the cleaners and everybody else to succeed. And because of that reason, if you know that you cannot succeed without employing, then you should accept that at some point you can get employed.
That is very true. That's a very interesting intake. Now, back to you, the business. You have been in this business for 30 years. This year will be 31 years since you started. Na kuna penye ulianzia. Now, how has that growth been? Has it been easy? Because you're saying you started from a small rented place, but now right now you have a whole story building worth a couple of bucks. So how has that journey been hiyo ya kugrow from starting point to where you are right now?
Life is about struggles and wars. So what I want to say is, from the one go, since you were born, you struggled to stand up, you struggled to walk, you went to school, you went to high school, you struggled to go to university, you went to university, you struggled to pass, you passed, and you graduated, you struggled to get a job, you got a job, you struggled to work so that you can be promoted. So the world is all about struggles, and you must be prepared to struggle and to persist. And they say that I'm not quitting, I must continue. So even the business is the same case. I cannot say that it has been a smooth going. It has not been a walk in the park. Yeah, it has not been easy, but we say that we must, when it becomes tough, we become tougher. So that's how we succeeded. That's saying that we are not going back. We have to succeed, and we must succeed. Yes, but one thing I want to say is that God has been on our side. Mostly you cannot make it if you are alone. God must be on your side, because sometimes I have seen people not succeeding, not because of maybe making blunders. Issues can come up. Maybe you get sick, maybe your family members become sick, maybe calamities come and can destroy the business. But with God, you get protected. So the few things you do, they can grow. They can grow. Yes.
Okay, you said life is a series of struggles. What's the one struggle that has been significant to you in growing your business?
Well, there are many. Well, there are many. Of course, we have people like the government. The government wants to get money from the business people, which is normal, because you cannot have good roads, you cannot have hospitals without maybe paying licenses, paying taxes, and what have you. But it's not easy, because as you start in business, sometimes you are not conversant with the KRA rules and the laws. And of course, ignorance is not a defense. So sometimes you discover that you have gone to the wrong side of the law, and it is very costly, and also it is very torturing. Because when you are to give maybe around 900,000 or maybe a million because of mistake that you made here and there, it's not easy. So that is why I would wish that even KRA, the arm that collects money for the government, they need to come with the ways of educating the young upcoming business people, so that we cannot get into those traps whereby somebody can lose money or maybe get discouraged completely. But they mess to those challenges, but they didn't go back. We must fight on. And now we are where we are. They are our very good friends. So running away from a challenge does not help you to become better. When there is a challenge, face it head on.
You're one person, Najua, you're very keen when it comes to your books. Let's say in accounting, I've met business people that they leave all that to the accountant, but you particularly, you're very keen. How has that helped you in your business?
Any kind of business that you do, records are very important. Records are very, very important. I want to emphasize on that. Even if you are a farmer, you need to know how much input that you have put in your farm. fertilizer, the cost of fertilizer, the people that are in the farm, so that when you get the returns, you must get the expenses, you subtract so that you can see how much you are making. Sometimes people are making losses, but they don't know. So it's good for you to have very good books. Keep your books very clean so that you can see where you are going wrong. And with the very good records, mostly you can improve because you know this is where we went wrong. This is what you can do better than what you have been doing before. And number two is also getting being passionate in also learning from others, those who have done better than you, what you call benchmarking, and also consulting the experts in those areas so that you can get some better tips on how you can do it better than what you are doing today. For example, if you are a livestock farmer, dairy farmer, you need to go to the people that are doing better than you and also know exactly how they do things, how they employ, how they grow their business so that you can improve and make it better than theirs. So you must be somebody who is ready to learn because learning is a process. It will end when you get into the grave.
Kwa biashara yako, you went from one place, you've built systems. How has it building these systems, sustaining these systems, finding the right system to use in your business so that ikakusaidia to grow to where you are?
Some things are not easy even to explain. One, we employ young people, we have IT people, we have very good accountants. And number two, I want to say that I was very good in mathematics. Actually, after Form 4, I wanted to be an accountant. My dream was to be a very senior accountant in this country. When I was in high school, I was boasting that I want to learn, become an accountant who will be signing check for the president. Before the president gets salary, he must look for me to sign check. To us, it wasn't so complicated. We thought that it will be very easy. Though I didn't take that line, even today take the accounts very seriously. And I'm very conversant with accounts. Of course, I'm not a professional accountant, but I'm very keen in accounts. Very keen. Wherever I go, I'm very keen on accounts. And now, because we employ very young people and educated people, they help us to create those systems. We call that one human resource, whereby even when they leave the company, they will not be able to carry what they have put in. So we have gotten big support from our staff because we have very good staff, and even those who have left, they have left a big legacy in that company, and they have built it to the level that we are today. I cannot boast that it is me who have done all those things. The young people, the very well-educated young boys and girls, have done this company and they have done it the best they could have done. And we highly appreciate. And even today we are connected with most of them. Some of them have now become very important persons in this country in different positions. And we thank God that they came through us. And they are doing very, very well, including some people that are within.
All right. Going back to the part where ulisema learning is a process, how are you able to, I'll say a big man, a very respected man in society, but you're able to come down to a certain level and listen to what this person is saying, what they are teaching you. How do you do it? Because we've met people where they are so succumbed by their ego, they are not able to calm down. Mtu mdogo mwenye ako lower than them, when they're trying to tell them something, they just dismiss it. But how has that helped you in the growth of your business, and how does it make you feel as a person?
One, we are differently created, very differently created. But one thing I want people to understand is that people that you think that are down, that's where the money is. Even the economy of this country is not carried by the class A students. Look at a very big building in every town. Engineers might be 3, electrical, mechanical, structural, architect, maybe around 5. And then a few other accountants. The rest that make that building are the people that you cost more. So the economy of this country is carried by the people that you sometimes mean and cost more. And actually, it is my prayer that as we do look at the wages, let us look at the people that you cost more. Even when you go to the education system, the nursery school teacher is a very important teacher because that is where you learn 0 to 9. That is where you learn A to Z. Those other lecturers, high school teachers, they beyond on those numbers. Of course, they might add a few science and there, but the basic is A to Z, 0 to 9, which is learned in nursery. Without that 0 to 9 and without A to Z, the secondary school teachers, high school teachers, the lecturers, they cannot teach. So the people that you demean and say that they're small, they're the people that are carrying this economy. Go to any factory, just one manager, 2 accountant, IT person, then the rest are those other people that you cost more. So the economy of this country is carried by the people that you dismiss. But one day you discover that. So I know interacting by the people that you cost more, that's where the money is. And that's where the money will always be. Because those are the people who are helping to create money, and we have to respect them the way they are. Number two, every man, every woman is important in the eyes of God. Every man, every woman is very important in the eyes of God. So anytime that I'm interacting with the people, they are equal. They are equal. Thank you.
I think that is something to remember, that everyone matters in the economy and in the society that we are in. Now, I believe in your business, you have a huge number of employees. One thing, managing people is not as easy. Now, how do you as a CEO manage this number of people that you have? Because I know you personally know each and every one of your employees and their traits. How do you also resolve conflicts? Because people are, like you said, people are differently created and differently gifted. How are you able to interact with all these personalities and able to come together and grow your business?
There is what you call organization culture. Organization culture. Organization culture is how you have grown the business and the culture that you embrace in that company. Our company has made every employee to know that, to know one thing, that the company does not belong to one person, because this one person will one day die, and the company is not a master that it dies. So I can die even any time, but the employees will be there. Even if they fail to manage the business, it is their fault, it's their mistake if they fail to manage the business. Now we have made them to know the business belongs to them. Reasons are very simple. Even when you go outing with them, like first of this year, we were out with them. They have discovered that they normally take one plate like them. They know I sleep in one bed like them. We dress one dress. Of course, the mind might be little costly than theirs, but this is a motivation to the CEO. Okay? And most of the things we do the same way. So this is an opportunity that God has given to me to lead. I know that it is a golden opportunity that God has given to me as a CEO to lead them. And number two, it is very important to accept one thing. When they create money, they will not struggle to tell the CEO to earn salary. When there is money, they know that the salary will continue to raise, increment. Okay, that's why sometimes people are complaining. Some companies are not able to pay in time. Not that they don't want to pay in the time, but they have no money. So we have made our people to know that they have to make money so that they can get their salaries. Our people knows that they are not making money for the CEO. They are making money for themselves. Everybody is struggling to make money for himself. And that's why in our company, when you start joking with our work, they have a right to sack you even when I'm not there. When I come, I can now confirm that this person does not qualify to work with us. They have that with the structures that you currently have. They have the right to sack somebody who is lazy without consulting me. Then when I come, I will just confirm, or if there was a mistake, I will tell them. Number two, people enjoy working where they are respected, not where you are treating them like they don't matter. We make our staff know that they matter, they are very important persons. And even when we're handling small issues, we are very fair. When we are very fair, people will love the company. And they agree that no, this judgment was okay. Because one duty of a leader is to be unjudged. Another duty of a leader is to behave like a father and a mother. Okay? And because of that one, we have made everybody feel so comfortable. Even if you are very senior, you can not hurt the lowest employee in our company. Because even that lowest employee is very important.
That's very interesting to know that even the least person, the managers still have to respect them. I think that is something that is very key in business. Now, you're one person that has incorporated family into business. You have your children working. How does that come about, and what's the working relationship, and where do you draw the line between family and business?
Okay, fine. One, we work with my children, even when they were not, they were in school, when they were home, they could come and interact with what I do, because they need to know where do their school fees come from. So my children have interacted with the business since they were very young. And they also encourage other people, mostly Africans, to help your children to interact with what you do. Let them know that the fees does not come from heaven. It comes from sweat. And that's what they have done. Number two, anybody who is interested in joining me is allowed. But it's not a must. It's not a must because people like different things. The one now who is working with me is her own decision. She was not coerced or pushed into doing it. You do it because you like it and you are paying salary like anybody else. And if you make a mistake, we are treated like anybody else. If you have a case, it is judged like any employee. At the business, there is no daddy, there is no mom. At business, it's business. And number two, there are two things that is there. Those people struggle to start in business, they do it because they fear poverty. But when children get in, children, they are not there because they don't fear poverty. They don't fear poverty because they have not experienced poverty. They are there because they to do what their parents are doing. So most of them do excellently well and better. But the thing to note is that those who started, they were trying to fight poverty. But when children come in, they are coming to do what the parents are doing. And they can do very well, better than their parents. And if they make mistakes, it can collapse at any time. So my motto to encourage is that even those children that are enjoying their parents, they should know that they have to sweat, they have to work extra hard. Without doing that, and even the Bible is very clear on this, God will bless the work of our hands. So you cannot think that you will go there, stay there watching TV, watching joking with your phones and make it. You cannot make it. It will just sleep and things will go trouble, which is not the wish of any parent. But those children that are keen, they meet a foundation, a well-ordained, they don't have foundation, they can do great things. And they can earn salaries that they cannot get even from the government and many other organizations. Most of these big companies, like Indevik, many others, when the children got in, they were serious than their parents. And because now they have their foundation, money is there, maybe plots are there, they can succeed and get to a high height. But those who go there and start making jokes, they mostly get lost. That empire is no more. We know of many companies that were there, but today they are not there. But they encourage our children with the fear of God. If you stand firm, you can do much better than your parents, and you will make your parents proud, especially when they grow old. When they are very old, they cannot do anything. They will feel so good that what they started is driving in a speed higher than that was them before.
In case you're wondering, I am the child that he works with, and we work very well amicably. Now, you seem to be a very spiritual person. How has being a spiritual person helped shape your business, ama how you make decisions, ama you as a person, as a CEO in your business?
One, I pray a lot because the Bible says it's only God who gives ability to create wealth. Church is a big school. Even when education was not very common, those who owned men and women that were going to church were looking educated. Their homes looked better. They were able to educate their children because church is a big school. There are many things that you learn in the church that you cannot get them elsewhere. And it helps you to interact with very good people that even can help even when you are doing business or you are doing many other things, they can help you to grow. So from when I was in Sunday school, I have never left the church, and I believe I would advise anybody to make sure that you are in church somewhere. But when we talk about the church, I'm talking about the church, not the church that talks about just getting blessed. You call it prosperity gospel message. No, it's the church that can teach you how to do business, church that can teach you how to do farming, church that can educate you how to do many other business and many other things. And in most good churches, they have seminars, workshops to train their people to be better. Because even when you pray, you cannot pray and you get food on your table. No. And because of that simple reason, I would wish that people would know who is God. God can change things in your life.
That is a very deep intake. We appreciate that. Now, when it comes to money, when someone is starting out a business, ama mtu akianza biashara, what can you tell them about knowing that this money should go back to business? Kuna hii pesa ya kutumia, because kuna mtu ataanza biashara asahau that they have to put money back into the business and probably they'll go chop all that money. Now, what is one or two things you can tell them about how to handle the money in business?
I think that's very simple. Live within your means. Live within your means. There are many people that live in competition. You start a business, and within no time, you want to dress like Kinoti GK. You want to dress like the first lady. Now you are not in business or in competition. There is no time. There is no given time that you will be number one. Kinoti might be said to be a prominent in Nkubu, but when you go to Meru town, Kinoti might not be known. When you go to Nairobi, when you talk about Kinoti, it's a foreign name. So everybody is important where you are, and you should accept that. Do things in a natural way. Do things in a natural way. When Ibrahim was said to be very rich, he didn't steal from anybody. It is that the cows were calving the normal way, and he allowed them to grow. Number two, money is like a baby. Money is like a baby. And we were told that by Dr. Lawi Madio, our former presiding bishop, Methodist Church in Kenya. Allows more money to grow. Like how you allow us baby to grow, to be big. And at one point, when you're traveling, that baby, that person you are calling baby will be the one who is handling you are where you are going, or even when you are going to the hospital, that person that you are calling baby is the one that is telling you where to go. Why? Because you took care of him or her when he was a small baby. Now the money wants to be treated the same way. When you treat money as a baby, they will grow, and that money will start working for you. For example, we can talk about Equity Bank, which was started by Monga. It was a small thing, but now Monga does not know who are the employees, does not know, he knows that maybe the CEO alone. Okay? Now that shows that he allowed the money to grow, and the money now it is at the level of managing the businesses. Now Monga is somebody who is relaxing somewhere or doing few things which are not much engaging. So let the people allow the money to grow. Kenyans are known to be people who are broke. and they try to impress other broke people. You have no money and want to do things to show other people you have money. Those people that want to show that they have money, they have also no money, they're in debt. Let us live a life of ourselves, knowing that you cannot compete with anybody, because when you think that you're important in Nkubu, when you go to Merotown, you discover that there are many very important persons. When you think that you are a very important person in Nairobi, like you are in Kerubi, when you go to London, you discover that there are people that are very senior. They are doing better than you. So it is good to accept the level that God put to us. Let us let us, and when you know that, you will not be in competition. You will do things the way you are able to do. One of my daughter has done economics and statistics. And she told me that money stays where they are protected. Money is like women. They stay where they feel protected, where they feel secure. So anytime that you get money and you spend it immediately and carelessly and recklessly, money will try to avoid your pockets. So save as much as you can. Any deal that you do, you can spend some little money, save big money for big projects. And I would also emphasize on what our bishop told us. He told us one thing very important, that you cannot surprise anybody in this world. We cannot surprise anybody. I'm saying this because people take huge loans so that they can build bungalows beyond their ability, or maybe they buy cars that are beyond their ability, and sometimes even they push banks, and also they talk to valuers, so that the land that is valued at around 2 million, it can go to 20 million, so that it can get big loans. You try to put up a big project which might not be completed, and now thinking that you are going to surprise au utashtua watu, unashituka wewe mwenyewe, and sometimes it has led people to depression, to stress, and even people have died. On matters of money, please live within, I want to repeat this, live within your means. Take what you can comfortably afford to pay, and mostly know exactly what you are putting up, if it will give you good returns. For example, when you're putting up a family house, you need to know that you have many other sources of giving you money, because anything can happen, and God forbid, you can even get sick and you are not in job anymore. A family house will not help you. But if you have a commercial building, that one you can live from that one for all your life. So as we do investments, or as we spend, let us sit down, maybe consult some very good friends or experts, and know exactly what we are doing. We have seen people even building investments, like maybe hotels and other facilities, in a place where the return is too minimal, because they need to do good consultation. So let us study the market, let us do feasibility study, so that as we invest in areas that the return will be good. And by doing that, it will be good for all of us. When sometimes I feel so bad, in our roads that goes to rural, every household has a shop, and those shops are closed. And sometimes even those few ones that have tenants, they cannot rent more than 500 shillings per month. And the cost of putting up that building is the same, is actually higher than building in a big town. In a big town, of course, the challenge might be getting a plot. But if those people can put their effort together, they can have a building whereby you have your unit, I have my unit, and you are getting better returns. And number two, why would I have a shop where I cannot rent it out? It is good even to have that money put in money market. And in money market these days is doing very well. Some are paying at 15% per annum, others 18%. We have circles that are paying, as we are talking today, 19% or 13%. And that one is a money that you are not struggling to do anything. You are not talking about building, about leaking roof, about no electricity, no water, no, and you get money. So when you are putting your money somewhere, consult so that you can invest your money where you are getting good returns. Of course, people like others to say that he has a shop, he has a this and that. But when people are talking, they are not handing any shilling to you. They are just talking about you, and they are not doing what they are expecting you to do. So please, let us do a lot of consultations, like what we do when we are sick. When you are sick, we consult the doctors. When you have a case in court, we go to lawyers. But sometimes when you are investing, you just do blindly without even consulting, without even asking what you are doing. And that's why even some business people have gone, have lost money to the conmen and con women. These are many, because they know when they tell you about investing somewhere, you will not consult. So they come to you, they tell you, you know, how so and so have made their money. Those people are not worse than you. They have done 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you take your money to them, and then you lose your money. I would advise anybody who tells about a business that looks so good, think twice. And thinking twice entails even going to experts to consult them about the same. And anybody who tells you that don't consult, don't tell people about what I'm telling you, you know that person. Run away from that person. That's a con man.
Now we've had a lot about the growth, the where you started mpaka penye umefika. Now, one question: has it ever gotten to a point where you want to quit?
I would say no. One, I would say no, but there was a time that we had a case with the KRA people, and they felt in business is becoming very difficult because there were a few things that we were not also very conversant. I'm not saying that they were wrong, but they were also very tricky, the people that who came to us. And they thought that the best thing is that they live doing the actual business, and they went into other areas. But it's venturing in other areas that I think are a bit better because also business accounts are not very easy, because we are talking about the profit. C.E.O is at a third corner, and the employees want more salaries, your suppliers want prompt payments, customers want a discount. So it is not easy. Government want money, and those things are not easy. But there is no time that they have said that I will not make it in life. It's only that they said and thought that maybe this one is becoming a little difficult. So you are selling without buying, and even those that they advanced some credit to us, we paid them because we didn't want to go with anybody's single cent. And then after some few months, we discovered that we have paid everybody, and there is a lot of money in the bank. And they discovered what they wanted is little, a small percentage from what is in the bank, and it's still a shop as items. So the question that came into my mind, and that was Ngodi. When I started the business, I started with 176,000. I know the government wants 690. And then in the account, I have I think I have 2.8, and the shop is full. What's there? By giving them 690, and they started with 176. So that one triggered me to go back. So I went and negotiated with them, and they paid the money, and then we proceeded. Now from there, I was wiser. That is why I was saying challenge should be faced end on. Don't run away from challenges, because wherever you go, there is a challenge. When you go to farming, there is a challenge. When you go to matatu business, there is a challenge. So be firm on what you're doing today, and the likelihood of succeeding is very high.
Would you say that has been one of your biggest challenge?
I can say that has been my biggest challenge. Yeah, for now. Yeah.
Okay. Going back to something umesema earlier about investing. Kuna wale watu wenye wanaonaga Kinoti yako na hardware, so they jump into starting a hardware, but it doesn't turn out as well as you. ama naona mwingine amefungua supermarket, it has worked well, they jump to open a supermarket. What would you tell those type of people?
You cannot do things because people are doing. People of that character will always buy a car when they see a good car has passed. They will not remember that they have some financial obligations. They will just jump into buying it. They will go for a dress because they have seen somebody wearing that dress. I want to say, when you're starting a business, it is good for you to understand why do you want to start this kind of business, and then go in directs. Go in directs on what to do. That's why when you go to the open air market, you discover that people sell different things. They need to have a meeting to share what you sell this one, I sell this one. No. God in one way or another directed them into that business. But it also depends on why. You have seen some people starting business because maybe their brother is a principal in a school. So they start a bookshop so that they will be selling books to that school because their brother or maybe somebody close to them is in that school. That is very bad way of starting business, because any person who puts his hope in another person is cast. So it is good for you to be very clear when you want to start this business, and you are not in competition. I remember when I was starting hardware business, some people asking me, they were many people that had very big businesses hardware in Nkubu. Wakina Nkubu stores were there. There's another one in Kaburine, and another one and another one. So they were asking me, why are you starting this one? Will you be able to compete with those people? But it was very clear. I'm not coming for competition. I'm coming to earn my daily brand. So I'm coming to get my daily brand. Them, they are looking for their daily brand. So I'm not competing with them. I will be selling to my people, and they will be selling to their people. And there is a Khmer adage that says, when the cows are eating somewhere in front, others are behind, and all of them are eating. And even that one at the front does not clear the grass to the soil. So it is good for us to know that what big people are doing, you can start in a small way and catch up.
That's very interesting. Now, umesema ulianza na 176,000. How are you able to raise that 176,000?
By buying and selling, you get a profit. You plow that profit in the business. You continue to do that and that until it grows.
What was your initial capital?
Initial capital started with 176,000, and then got small loan from Times Circle around 44,000. That comes to 210. I paid the rent. We were paying 5,000, because it was small front shop plus a small behind a room where I would spend when I'm around. And it grew. You know, that question is like asking a big person, how did you grow? You know, you eat food, you drink water, eating, drinking, and you grow. So business is like that. But they would pray and wish that people are honest and they are ethical. They do ethical business, and the business in a very good way and in a very good way. In a very good way, it has to grow. Yeah.
When you were starting, there's what you thought would be success to you, and right now there's something that you think is success. Point ulidhani ukifika utafeel you've been successful, and is it the same as now ama the vision has grown?
Success is like a road on construction, a endless road in construction. It will never end. So you you buy a plot, you celebrate. Within no time, you discover that a plot without a building is not helping you. You put up a building, you discover that there is other big buildings than that. That's how the life was created to be. So they keep on shifting. The goals keep on shifting. Even today, there are things that I want to do, and even tomorrow it will shift again. Because when you achieve, you want to do bigger things. When you achieve this one, you want to another one, which is so key in life. Life can be so boring if there is nothing that you are admiring tomorrow. And get me right. If today you become a professor, That's the end of mwisho ya masomo hapo. That's the end of education, to be a professor. You become a billionaire. You can go for already to any country. You have a beautiful wife, or maybe had some man, husband, a very good one. Tell you, the life will be so boring, because what else to do at the mind for tomorrow? But for us that we are moving in the gradual way, there is a lot of motivation, because maybe I want to drive a better car, maybe I want to have a better house. It's very motivating. But those that have all of those, most of them will end up to be drunkards. And it is in the Bible that rich person who said that now may heart sitting down, eat and drink, because they have everything in night the next day. We were not created to be idle. We were created to do things until we die. So success, even you young people, it will keep on shifting. You think that buying a car, you are done. No, when you go to the road, you discover that there are bigger cars than yours. Eh? When you build a house, you discover that people are living in Runda these days. When you go to Runda, you discover that people are houses in Mombasa and the Runda and the Kisumu. When you get to those one, you remember that it's a country called Mauritius, where people are going for holidays. So it will keep on shifting.
Okay, true. Then now, as we are about to finish, what is the one thing no one has told you about business, someone no one told you about business, but you don't to tell someone else?
That's a tough one, but I would emphasize on ethical business, whereby you are able to do businesses with even other people that are in your town and loving one another, not fighting. There should be no rivalry, because if today all and your businesses close in Nkubu and in Meru town, we can easily get sick, because everybody will come to our shop, will not even get time to eat, will not even get time to ask for those that you have given some credit, will not even talk well, because you know that you will not go anywhere. So you will all condemn us and hate us, because you come for cement. When you say that you want 2 bags, we tell you go away. We are not telling you less than 10. But when we have people that are doing what you are doing, is very important. It helps you to become a good person. It helps you to behave well. It helps you to talk to people well. It helps you also to get time to breathe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking time to be on our platform. I don't know what you guys have taken home, but I've taken a couple of things home. One, money is like women. You better take care of it. And number two, work. If you're in the same industry, work together. When you're together, that's how you grow and become better in the society. Tell me what you have learned or what you've taken home, and see you on the next episode.